Hello everyone, about the topic the communication management. What is communications management? The communication management is an umbrella term referring of the flow of the information with the company of between municipal companies in a focuses on reaching a company's target attendance, consumers, employees, vendors, media group, and charity. By planning in the implementing methods of communication in both internal and internal communication, management plan, essential role and environmental health and validity of any business. Ito ang importante sa tumutukoy sa daloy, formasyon sa loob ng kumpanya o pamamagitan ng maraming kumpanya na nataon. Ito ay pag-abot ng mga target ng mga iba-ibang customer, employer at mga vendors at iba pa. The role of the communication in management. The management part is the objective of the organization itself. To avail to this, management should make an action plan that simply defines what then and who is would be done and finished. In order to use it, the plan manager must pass on the information in everybody in organization. Good in communication organization are totally relate on communication with define the exchange of idea, management of information by speech, signals of right. Without communications, organization will not function if communication defined of operate and the third organizer prefer. When communication truth coordinate and timely the organizations fair and effective. Ito yung rules na management is tumutukoy ito lamang sa kailangan kung paano gawin at tapusin upang makiisa katuparan ng plano dapat ipasa ng tagapagpahala ng impormasyon lahat ng taong organisasyon. Important of the communications management. It's basically everything the not simple plan the everyone will follow. When make a plan and get everybody ready in possible that you can point before should be one dealing with the agreement all the truth the aggregate of the task. Ito yung important of the communications management about kapag gumagawa tayo ng plano o handa ang lahat. Posible ikaw o ang isang puntong tao dapat umaharap ng kasuyahan sa kabuuang gawin ng lahat. Yan ang importante ng of communications management.
A written framework that both client, stakeholder, team member can reference. This can help in a case there in any needs from mediation. You have a written paper trial you can refer back to. It can also be beneficial for account payable to reference in case there are gaps in the track for the project. The plan itself will manage expectation from stakeholder to not anticipate a finished project before the deliverables have been tested for quality. The point at which communication is shared allows both stakeholders to provide viable feedback to the project. It allows all involved to better discover risks and issues early on. It helps to eliminate the need to hold unnecessary meeting on the book, saving both time and money.
Management. Tips and technique for better communication management. Include a description of project landscape in your original plan. Assign an owner of the communication process. Include a review process. Set up a system for message to be delivered. Next, communication management do's and don'ts. Because the cornerstone of every successful project is effective communication, clear communications about goals, responsibilities, and expectations, and performance and feedback, as well as a project updates to your various stakeholders is all part of your responsibility. It's like example, do have a communication place, a plan in place. Do set communication expectation early to be clear and direct. Do know your audience to be supportive of your project team. Don't be passive aggressive. Don't micromanage the project process. Don't rely on electronic communications. Don't forget to document everything. Communication management and project management. In a project management, communication management must address the following question. What information need to flow in and out of the project? Who needs what information? When is the information needed? What is the format of the information? Who will be responsible for transmitting and providing the information? So, communication management and project. Ito po yung mga question o katanungan about po sa ating mga project na ginagawa sa ating mga proposal. O paano natin ma-manage ang ating mga business.
Communication planning. Ang mga problema, pangangailangan at mga plano sa hinaharap ay tinutukoy upang matiyak ang pagkamit ng mga layunin at objectives. Information distribution. This involves disseminating of pagpapakalat ng impormasyon kailangan ng mga stakeholder at iba pang miyembro ng organisasyon. Performance reporting. Kabilang dito ang pag-uulat ng katayuan, pagsukat ng pag-unlad, at pagtataya para sa hinaharap ng organisasyon. Administrative closure. Kabilang dito ang pagbuo, generating, pangangalap, at pagpapalaganap ng impormasyon para gawing formal ang yugto o pagkumpleto ng proyekto. 4-step process for effective communication. The project manager and the project team ay kailangang magtulungan to identify who needs what information. In other words, project management needs to know what the requirements of successful communications are in order to plan on how to achieve those requirements. One of the 4 steps process for effective communication is identify communication requirements. Second is identify the 5 W's, which is why communication of information is essential and to what level is important. What needs to be communicated? When it should be communicated? Where should it be communicated? Who needs to be communicated to? And 1H, how the communication needs to be done. The 5 W's and 1H are useful, hindi lamang para sa mga takdang aralin sa akademya, kundi pati na rin sa mga komunikasyon sa negosyo at promesyonal na pamamahayag.
Number 3, identify and accommodate the enterprise environmental factors. So much of the communications management process are linked to the enterprise environmental factors. Number 4, identify organizational process assets. The organizational process asset affects how the project manager, project team, and the stakeholders will be communicate within a project. So the role of communication in management. Communication and management come hand in hand. Communication as defined by Merriam-Webster Dictionary is a process by which information is exchanged between the individuals through a common system of symbols, signs of behavior. On the other hand, management is the act of getting people together to accomplish desired goals and objectives using available resources efficiently and effectively by means of its four function, which is there are four functions. One is planning, two organizing, three directing, and lastly controlling. This four function depends on effective communication. Communication is considered to be the means through which members of organization relate with one another by interchanging ideas, facts, and feelings through the use of words, letter, memoranda, symbol, bulletins. Symbols and Bulletins by NAMSE 2009. And one way for the organization to attain certain organizational objectives is through efficient because the transmission of information, ideals, attitudes, and feelings with its members through the process of communication is stated by ETOC 1991.
The role of communication in management. Management aims to accomplish the goals and objectives of an organization. They must plan for the future of their organization, and these plans must be communicated well to the members of the organization in order for this to succeed. Without proper communication, the plans of the management would be hard to achieve. An effective communication can help in the following areas of management. There are four rules of communication in management. Provides clarity, builds relationship, creates commitment, and the last is defines expectation. Provides clarity. Without effective communication, information would not be disseminated properly. It gives clear instruction and information to everyone to avoid confusion, conflicts, and misunderstandings. Builds relationship. If the management can communicate well with their people, it can result to reduce tension between them. Good communication can help build relationship and gain trust. Third, creates commitment. Communication is a two-way process. We send and we receive message. If there is an effective communication strategy, the management can also listen well to their people. Those encouraging people opinion and points of view, people who feel belong and engage are most likely to give a good feedback, which is very essential in communication. The last defines expectation. When there are standards that are set, people will be aware of what they need to do to get a positive feedback and the benefits that come with it. Method of communication. Communication process alone would not be the only basis for communication management success. Managers should take note about the methods of communications. The standard method that is usually used is oral and written ones. Aside from this, There is also nonverbal communication. Management uses various effective methods of communication with internal and external audiences. The most common traditional methods and styles are oral, written, face-to-face, nonverbal, physical, nonverbal. Paralanguage and visual, a better understanding of these methods and styles will help management in knowing as well as dealing with staff in a better way. Clear any misconceptions or misunderstandings that may exist and those contribute to the
Oral communication. A huge extent of oral communication is straightforwardly associated with communications management. For instance, if a manager doesn't speak or make it clear to a sales group, this may prompt contrast in objectives and accomplishments. There are two types of oral communication. First is active listening. It is where the person who receives the message pays attention to the information, interprets, and remembers. Next is constructive feedback. It is where managers fail most of the time. Feedback needs to be constructive, then it will help the employees to help shape up their performance instead of mere. Weekly reporting method. One simple and popular communication method is called the weekly reporting method. Every employee composes an email report once a week, including information on their activities in the preceding week, their plans for the following week, and any other information deemed relevant to the larger group, bearing in mind length considerations. Reports are sent to managers who summarize and report to their own managers, eventually leading to an overall summary led by the CEO, which is then sent to the board of directors. The CEO then sends the board summary back down the ladder, where each manager can append an additional summary of note before referring it to their employees. Eventually, each employee will receive a long email containing many or all the above mentioned summaries from every level of management. Reading the full result is rarely a requirement. Curious or ambitious employees are considered more likely to read the result. Task-centered employees, however, are not. Management and communication media system. Social media system is considered as the fast-moving platform adjacent to the immense development of digital media as the modern-day tool in communicating knowledge and information. The merging of one's capacity to create a message and the digital means to translate it has an enormous influence in considering social media as a prevailing and an easily reached facility. The dominant function of social media to code or translate a content into comprehensive expression with the support of technical medium has yielded a unique facet into the contemporary efficient type of communication management social system is employed as contract to essentially enforce to the essence of news and information distribution. Now, a point at issue that may possibly raise here. What type or style of management will suit the structure and context of the present-day interaction and exchange of ideas in social media system? The organizational dynamic of management is considered considerably relevant to this present-day communication system that has been occupied by digital sophistication and uncertainties due to the ever-growing properties and features of social media. Organizational dynamic refers to the course of action in developing the resources continuously and in augmenting the maximum capacity of the individuals within the system through organizational learning, exercises, and decisive leadership. What is organizational dynamic? This communication management regulates the initial work in realizing the communication goals that may lead to the potential result that would produce a lasting impact change within the organization of institution. Social media system has its luminous quality with no exact structure and trend. As time changes, social media communication will still be around the expansion, but its management will be regarded as function reinforcing in structure for its goal.